I'm Reverend David W. Green, Senior Pastor here at Purpose of Life Ministries, President of the Concerned Clergy of Indianapolis. One of the focal points for the Concerned Clergy is education. We understand the importance of our children getting a well-rounded education. And I'm talking about all of our children, not some of our children. There are 4 candidates that we want to endorse. District number 1, Christine Prince. District number 2, Dr. Ramon Batts. District number 4, Larry Vaughn. At-large candidate, Jim Graham. These 4 individuals have spent their time investing in our community, listening to parents, listening to community members. Why? Because they want to do what's best for all of our children and for our community. Oftentimes during an election, we will vote simply by who sends us the most in the mail. That's not the decision you should make, because basically you're selling it to the children, because whoever has the most money can now buy a vote. What we need to do now is vote for people who will stand up for our children. Again, I want to remind you, join me in supporting candidates that are committed to our children and to our community.
Are you ready?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
The naked truth.
You can't handle
The
it.
naked truth.
You can't handle it.
The naked truth. Truth. Truth.
For those who don't know, this is Reverend Mmoja Ajabu. I am your host for After Naked Truth. After Naked Truth is an X-rated program. Our goal is to strip the clothes off of these well-dressed lies that's running around here as the truth. So if you can't stand the truth, I would advise you to turn the TV off, turn the radio off, get out of the room. But at this point, we're going to be talking about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. I am joined today by 2 distinguished guests. One, my sister, Latava, Mabilijengo. Mabilijengo. She's a very strong sister. You'll get to know her. And we also have Brother Denell. He's a strong brother, and you'll get to know him. This is the first time that we have actually brought video to the program, and this is going to be a regular occurrence. So stay tuned, because today's topic, considering the election and everybody is concerned about Trump and what Trump is doing, I'm not so much concerned about what Trump is doing, I'm concerned about what we doing. We've got a situation where is that a man has been elected who's being uplifted by what they call the alt-right, which is no more than white supremacists. And I'm not hearing our leadership, especially here locally in Indianapolis. We had a situation in the election in the school board where preachers, the concerned clergy, endorsed a person who happened to be white over their own educational chair who was a black woman. I was concerned and asked the clergy, and y'all got to understand that I name names. So the person that I talked to was Pastor David Green, who's pastor at Second Baptist Church, located right there on 38th and Kessler. And I asked him, why would he endorse a white man over a black woman? He told me that, and people were concerned that, well, why isn't this a racial? Well, the issue is not the race. That's just a fact. The man is white. The woman is black. But the woman has given her time, her expertise, and her money in order to help the concerned clergy's position on education be prominent here in the community. talking about unity, bringing it together. How are we going to bring it together if we don't support one another? And I'm not saying that it's all got to be based on black, but personally, I'm a race man. If there's a person that's running or doing something that looks like me, that's doing it well, as opposed to someone that's doing the same thing who don't look like me, well, the person that looks like me is going to get the support. They came out and endorsed this white man, and when they had the election, God a funny dude. She got 30,000 votes. The next person close to her got 15,000 votes. All of the people that the concerned clergy endorsed lost, came in last. What kind of leadership is that? Leadership, supposedly of men of God, who's supposed to be prophetic. Yet, their prophecy came up void. So I want to mix it up a little bit here. And actually, sis, I normally I would come to sister first, but Brother Howard is a preacher. And so I'm looking for you to interact with what I just said. Okay. How can you say that leadership is prophetic when the prophecy comes up void?
Well, I'm not a member of the concerned clergy.
You don't have to be. You got an opinion?
Yeah, I think that sometimes people should stop using God all the time for stuff that I don't think God weighs in on. I think that when we
using the wrong term. You said prophesying. You probably need to think more along profitable.
Yeah,
I think you just got the wrong terminology.
I hear you.
And then, I could care less about why they took the position. It's not another level to me. It's typical. If we look at the history of the concerned clergy in Indianapolis, and I would say anywhere, if you look at the history of them, they've been wishy-washy. They go where the money goes. They go where not disrupting or agitating their controllers and handlers go. So while this may have felt offensive, understandably and justifiably, I'm sure the sister was a little shocked, but this is not the first time that especially men of God have betrayed women or have
Betrayed
our people, and especially not the first time they have sided with the favoritism of white males. Please, that's just not shocking. It is offensive, but it's traditionally offensive. It's not newly offensive. It is their same old offense. I think we need to be more willing to do just this, openly call it what it is. So they weren't concerned with prophesying anything. It's what they've always done. They use black women, if we really want to get down to it. They use black women, which is what the concerned clergy did with this system. And when it no longer benefits them, or when the favoritism of their white masters come into play or into question, they betray black women. Every time. Not one church in this country could function without the women in that church. That's right. Especially no church in the black community. Not yours,
That's
not
right.
one.
That's right.
Not one. If
That's
it wasn't
right.
for black women. But black women pay these and finance these movements that betray them daily. They just betray them publicly. They betray them daily when they use them in the churches, when they speak of them behind closed doors and openly. It's black churches, many of them members of concerned clergy, that say little slick things like, it takes the sewers keep the palace clean. Speaking of the women in their churches. Meaning, I love that. Oh yeah, the sewers keep the palace clean. Speaking of, you got to keep a certain number of loose whore-like women in the church in order to help keep the godly men godly. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, I've traveled with preachers. I've done some work where I happened to be on a flight and stay in the same hotel with a lot of preachers, many of whom are members of the concerned clergy, when they took a trip to Israel, and I took a contract to go over there and do some work, and to fly over and watch shamelessly how degradingly and belittling these very same concerned clergy members behave towards women and attempted to behave towards me, but they're loose and rancid in their own poor character behavior.
Say, I shut that down.
And that's just the reality at hand. So
Right,
none of this
right.
stuff is surprising. It's just that they don't like their dirty laundry aired. But I mean, it's your dirty laundry, so.
Right. Now, I want to expand the discussion because I'm very concerned with the influx in this city of some federal money from the FBI that's supposed to help with this drug epidemic that's running down through it. Now, it's amazing that in our community, it's a drug epidemic. But in the white community, it's a health problem.
Mental health issues.
In our community, it's a crime problem. In their community, it's a health problem. They trying to get them clean needles so that they can shoot their hair.
Keep shooting. But I think you made a point that it's not a new you said it's not a new disrespect, or it's not a new, when you mentioned the sister, it's not new. It's traditionally been that way.
You take issue with that?
Well, no, I'm saying that in the same vein that she said, concerned clergy or pastors using black women up into a level and then just tossing them aside
Right.
for their white master is not new. I don't think this is new. I think that every time there's drugs involved with people of color, it's always been a crime. And I think that every time there's drugs involved with whites, it's always been something that they got to get over. That, you know, if Jim is upstairs doing his mama's pills and he comes down and kills everybody, it's mental.
Right.
If Ray got some crack and he trying to get off, he trying to get some money, it's a crime. And
Right.
I think it's been that way. I think it's always been a crime. It's always been seen as a crime because I think that the community has been still trying to find out what to do.
Well, the question is, where's the leadership, Denell? Where's the
Didn't you
leadership?
say FBI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that a question? Faith-based initiative, FBI?
Yeah.
What do you mean, where's the leadership? They at the bank. What do you mean, where's the leadership?
Right.
They getting the money.
I do agree that
No.
the 501c3 status of churches made a lot of churches enable or render them incapable of speaking to truth because they can't. There's certain things you
No,
can't
that's
say.
not true. That's not true.
The
Your
faith-based
your 501c3 don't stop you from speaking truth.
But your
Your
greed
fi-
does,
yeah,
your
yes,
participation
yes,
does,
yes,
your
yes,
qualifiers
yes,
do,
that-
your
that's-
lack of character
But I'm
does,
saying
your
because you don't want to
principles
lose
do.
that. Like you could lose your
That's not
501.
true.
Well, I'm just saying.
Your 501c3 stops you from supporting a candidate in a political race.
So then if I
You
if
can't
I
take
want
part
to
in
earnestly say,
a campaign.
but I'm saying if I want to earnestly say I don't trust that guy.
You
Okay.
can say that.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have one. I just say whatever I want
You
to
can
say.
say that. You can say that, and this is the way you say it. You know, because when I was in Atlanta,
Mhm.
and we talked about how preachers could come out and say things without getting in trouble with their 501c3. We actually had workshops on how to do that. So you say that. Look, I can't tell you who to vote for.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Ain't that the
Watch.
problem?
I can't tell you who to vote for.
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. But as a private citizen, as a man of being a man of myself, I'm going to support this. Now, I'm not telling you to support that person. But even if you've done that, even if they were using that as an excuse, here it is that they're going to stop and support and actually endorse what you can't do under that 501c3.
Well, I just thought that
A
was
candidate
I understand.
who has not done anything. I'm a member of the concerned clergy. I ain't never seen that man through there. And yet and still they done endorsed him. But then I want to broaden it. When we talk about these drugs, you know, it goes.
You got pastors standing behind. But you got pastors standing with the police saying, "This is This is good. We gotta do this.
Yeah, but I'm saying where are the elected officials standing? Whose district is that out there?
I have no idea.
Who is it? That's got to be, well, I know Pastor Jackson is out that way, James Jackson, but he's not an elected official. But whose district is that? And why does it even have to be somebody's district? If you're an elected official and you're part and parcel of that justice process, you're making the laws, then the mayor, the police chief, the FBI, the president has come out here on the east side of your city, made a police state, stopping and frisking people, and nobody's got anything to say.
But if the FBI is the faith-based initiative, right? If the people who mount these pulpits, who do all this, because even if I'm not saying vote for you, I'm a person of influence. I have hundreds of people attending my place. If I find the legal jargon to say, okay, don't necessarily vote for sis, I'm not gonna say don't vote for her, I'm gonna say as a man, I'm voting for you. Then I just told my group, don't vote for her, right?
Yeah,
So
you did.
So I'm saying that these guys are standing behind saying things, they're doing things, they're saying things, endorsing certain things because they don't want to lose that status, because that status allows them to get that money,
And I'm
and
saying
that money
that's a
controls.
false stance, Denell.
It is.
That's not breaking the law.
No, I'm saying
You know,
that.
that's not
Maybe
breaking
they don't
the rules.
understand it.
Well, maybe they do.
Okay, maybe they
Maybe,
do.
maybe they trying to make you and me think
They
that
don't know what they're doing?
Yeah, and all the time know what they're doing.
I just find it amazing that you even suggested they don't understand.
Well,
I just find that absolutely amazing.
I'm saying that I think they're trying to keep it. I think they're busy trying to keep that status, because that
I
status gets
find
them
it
certain
amazing
money.
too.
I mean,
and I find it amazing, and we got to quit it, man. We got to quit giving these people the benefit of the doubt. They ain't stupid. They play stupid, but they ain't
Well,
stupid.
They're not stupid, but the people sitting in the pulpits are.
Now, come on.
Well,
Here's what
in
it
the
really
pews or the
no.
pulpits?
In the
In
pews.
the pews.
In the
Okay,
pews.
okay.
But here's the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, the congregation, and they pride themselves on having ignorant people sitting in those pews and taking full advantage of it and exploiting people who sit in those pews who are seeking hope. And the unfortunate reality is, I see the problem here. We assume in this dialogue that the leaders in this city are the preachers. When by and
No, I'm trying to
in
expand
the
that.
category,
Right.
I'm trying to expand
generally
that.
speaking and categorically speaking, the preachers have been part of the problem.
I concur.
So that's
The preachers or some preachers?
Some preachers.
the preachers have been
I
part of the
know
problem.
I
And
know
the reason I'm gonna say that,
sincere in her
I'm
words,
being
that's all.
very
Yeah,
specific.
yeah,
The reason
yeah.
I'm saying the preachers is because just like police, good cops would arrest bad cops. Well, it takes
That's a
good
good
preachers
point.
to check
That's a
the
good point.
preachers.
Right,
That's a
okay.
good
Because
point.
the preachers
That's a
have
good
been
point.
found.
That's a good
They've
point.
long since stopped speaking on behalf of the people who sit in the pews
I agree.
in their congregations, who pay their salaries. So that's what I'm saying in that.
I agree.
When it comes to leadership, leading where? Now you got to address the fear of the people in the pulpits.
Okay.
They fear losing their benefits. They don't care about their status. They
Not
fear
because of the
losing-
501c3.
No, not because of their status. That's a
Because
tax
of the
status.
money that's
Okay.
going
That's
under
a
the
tax
table.
tax.
Okay,
You
okay.
know,
It's
come
redundant.
on.
They
You fact-
fear
you
losing
fact-
favoritism. They fear losing the ability to appear harmless. They fear not being accepted by the good old boys, because the truth of the matter is there's self-hatred in the pulpit that makes them generally want to be closer to white. They want to be accepted by the Caucasian. They want to be seen as less intimidating and less of a force. And I've seen it play out too many times for you to say maybe it's that they don't know. They absolutely do know.
Okay.
They want to be accepted behind the badge of their clergy collars.
They want the
That's
chaplain,
right.
police
They want to be
chaplain
accepted.
thing,
yeah,
all
They
that
want to
stuff.
be
No,
accepted.
Yeah.
They want to be accepted. They want to be seen as less intimidating. It's why I look at preachers, I see them talk a little softer, walk a little softer, raise their voice a little higher, step a little lighter. All this nonsense, and they betray us as black women on behalf of trying to get closer to white males. They betray their communities on behalf of getting closer to white males. Because the truth of the matter, if the people just thought about the preachers, just like if we were as violent as a people as white folks try to make us out to be, the blood would be running down the streets, the churches would be burned to the ground.
I'm telling you right now, and if you're listening to this
Okay.
conversation
I'm
and you
listening.
can't handle the
Okay.
truth, you need to get out of the room. This is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the naked truth. The truth up in here is not going to allow well-dressed lies to be relegated as the truth.
So can we
And I want
expand
to,
it, though?
I want to expand it. I
Okay.
really do. And I want to talk about the role. We've talked about them preachers, and we'll talk about them again. And the sister makes a very good point as concerning the some cops. Well, what about the good cops checking the bad cops?
Right.
What about the good preachers checking the bad preachers?
You know, I
That's an
think-
excellent
but
point.
here's
But
why I
watch
think you
this,
don't have
watch
to.
this,
Uh-huh.
watch this. Where are the elected officials?
Well-
They're the ones that's supposed to be within this justice mechanism. Where are they? I ain't heard one of them. City county council, state representatives, state senators, congressmen. Oh, where are they? I mean, is
They
the congressman a black
No,
man?
yes, they have no
What?
more pull. They have
Did-
no.
what did you say?
You heard it. They have no more pull than the people standing on the corner because they too don't want to lose their position, their lofty jobs. And I'm gonna tell you about your congressman and every other elected official.
Now, see, I
They
agree
get
with
to
that.
inherit these seats. Black people don't require anything for their vote.
I
They
agree
don't
with
put
that.
up any resistance for anything.
agree.
And as long as you are participating as part of your problem, you're going to continue to have that problem. And that is the problem. We keep participating as part of the problem. As long as you go along with it, you will forever be a problem manager. But when you start being a problem solver, that problem won't live in your house anymore.
So federal money.
So,
I'm
I know we gotta get in it.
No, I'm coming
Okay,
to
go
you.
ahead.
Federal money
Mhm.
comes and sets up a police state and the federal representation in our community. And the federal representation for our community is a black man, and he ain't saying nothing.
Who do you think called for this? Who asked for it? It
Are
was
you-
a black
are you
man.
saying
It was
he
a black
signed
man.
off on
Well, he had to, but
He had to.
Let me
He
tell you,
did.
He had,
I-
no,
You
he
can't
did not.
spend
This
federal
was-
money out here without the
Right,
Congress
without
No, 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 no.
signing off.
Who called for stop and frisk in this city? A black male.
Come on.
We need to stop calling
What's
these
his
boys
name?
men.
What's
We
his
need to start
name?
calling what they are, males. Harris, ain't that him?
That's
Charles
him.
Harris?
That's him.
A black male.
Where's
Because,
he?
and the reason I'm being
we
very
need to pass
distinct,
that.
any one of them churches,
Oh.
USA.
No, Barnes.
He-
Barnes. He's at Barnes. He
The
came out of the
reality-
barn.
The reality at hand, when you look at this, see, it's once people start drawing lines of distinction. See, we need to just stop lumping everybody in as men. They're males.
Okay.
Because a man would stand on the principle of what's good for his family,
Right.
his people, and his community. When you tell me somebody who looks like you is going to take priority and precedence in your life, then you stand on the principle of your manhood.
Right.
When you ask your open enemy, who is notoriously killing black children across this country wholesale, openly, when you beg them on your knees, you fall to your knees and you drag your behind around their ankles and ask them to come in and bring stop and frisk into a city that beforehand didn't have it.
Who said
And then
that?
that's Harris Ragley
Okay.
behind.
Okay.
Common bread
I just
Negro.
wanna make it
when
clear.
you bring him in and you beg white folks to bring stop and frisk in, and the first stop on the stop and frisk train is people who look like you. That's not manhood. That's not your political system. That's malehood who's seeking the favoritism of their masters.
And that's not godly. Come on.
If your God is a white male, it is.
Well, it
Right,
is.
right.
If your God is white male, that is godly
yeah,
for you.
Yeah. That's,
Because you too see the
that's a false
hatred
God.
of the
Right.
people who
That's
look
a
like you.
false God.
Because I think liberation for me, who was talking, I think it began spiritually. You can't have a white Jesus and serve black people. I don't agree with that.
No.
But I do believe that we have an elected official problem. I do believe we have a pastor problem. But I think the one thing we don't address is the hood cat problem.
Come on, Hood Cat. What's
See,
that?
here's my problem. Okay, we can talk about the elected officials.
Okay.
They're crooked. They got some devious ways. We can talk about the pastor. I'm gonna say the pastor the way you did. I prefer to say some pastor, but we're gonna talk about it as a position itself. We can talk about the pastor, how fraudulent some pastors can be, how we're more concerned with getting the concept you said about the sewer. I'm trying to wrap that around my mind. We can be more concerned about making sure we get the money for the month, make sure we get the notes, and make sure we get the health benefits, and make sure people like us, that, okay, pastors are doing that. I'm still waiting on the guys who really run the streets, who really control the neighborhoods. I'm still waiting on those guys to flex their muscle. Because I just believe those guys, and I've said this 101 times, they are the problem and the solution. You said males, not men. I've often said when black men stand up, then the community comes back. When black men stand up.
Now the cat that's got the juice in the neighborhood, he flexes his muscle.
Right.
To do what?
Whatever he's in the neighborhood, he knows what the problems are. He knows what the solutions are.
But he's flexing his muscle to do what?
Let's say we want to solve the whatever situation. I'll use homicide rate. Let's say we want to work on the homicide rate.
Because that's exactly where I was going to go.
The police are afterthought. You call the police. Yeah, you call the police after the crime is committed. That's why I even said to this mayor, more police on the street don't work. That's just you. That's just a campaign thing you're trying to put. More police on the streets. We're already the most police community in the world, and we still haven't solved homicides.
They haven't solved the homicide in our community, but they solved it in their community.
I think they locked innocent brothers up to solve it.
If you can't solve the homicide in our community, then you're involved in the homicide.
I wouldn't disagree.
Man, look.
I wouldn't disagree.
Police. Police.
So who's gonna stop them though?
Me and you. That's
why I'm saying.
Me and you.
But that's why I'm saying.
When we get ready, when black men,
that's
and
what I'm
we got
saying.
the juice, when we stand up and say, look,
that's
no
not
more.
What you said.
No, what I'm saying is that
I want to address what you said. See, the reason when you said you prefer to say some preachers or some pastors over the pastors is because you are a pastor.
Absolutely.
Hold on. And I'm going to show you how all this is going to tie in.
Okay.
The reason when I said the distinction between males and men, when you said you're still waiting on, men don't wait. Men do. Hold, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Men do.
Like that.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two. When you tell me that the average cat in the hood has more power to stop what's going on than somebody outside the hood, that lets me know, that confirms what we already know, the out-of-touch pocket that a lot of these self-appointed leaders take. The males in the hood, you say, let's stop the murder rate. We're talking about what are these guys doing? These boys are trying to eat.
I'm not talking about boys.
These adult males are trying to eat. They have not yet acquired manhood. They are doing what they know. And the reason I say that, you said we're dealing with a hood problem. If that's the problem you identify, then we're dealing with a parent problem. These males have not been taught to be men. They are providing the only way they're offered. See, when you show this, I've said for years, the police are the biggest drug dealers in the black community.
I don't
if
disagree.
You say you're going to deal with a drug problem, unless you're dealing with a drug importation problem, you're not dealing with a drug distribution problem, because drugs come in the trunks of police cars. And anybody who's in the hood knows that's how drugs get in the hood.
If you can't stand the truth,
get
out of the room. Get out of the room.
So I agree with that.
No,
if you do,
but
then you understand they're doing what they can do. If you want them to do something different, then you teach them how to feed their families without killing the people.
But that's what we're doing.
And do it without judgment. If they gotta join your church to do it, you're not doing it.
But see, anybody that knows my church knows you don't have to join my church.
Your one church.
No,
Go back
I
among
know,
your people
and
tell your colleagues to quit church. See, we got a case right here.
I don't know these cats like that. When I'm telling them
therein lies the problem. You can't claim leadership.
No.
You just let it out. You don't know them like that.
No.
So until you get to know them, you can't talk at them.
I'm talking about your concerned clergy people. These people.
Do you know, bro? I'm not talking about them. I don't give no
Pastor
care
Harrison,
about
these guys. I don't know them guys like that.
You know where I care about them? When they bump up against what I live with.
Right, but I know them guys in the neighborhood. The guys that I know in my neighborhood. The guys that I know that I reach out to. The guys that I know behind them prison walls. The guys that I know that I talk to. I'm saying to them, guys, there's got to be some way that as black men, that we can fix our own community.
If they could fix it, they would do it. If you are man, then you don't go and say, we got to be able to put our heads together. Then you do just what you claim to teach. You lead.
I
You
am
go in and
leading.
say, hold on, brother.
Right.
This is how you feed your
Right.
I
family.
am leading.
A man feeds a family like
Right.
X, Y, Z.
And I'm doing
Right.
that.
And we don't get on our knees for the police,
I'm
for the
doing
favor
that.
of this, that,
Right.
and the
And
other.
I'm doing
Watch,
that.
watch.
But it's not in a
Both
massive
ways.
scale of
Both
what you
ways.
see on TV.
Watch. This is the key. An organized problem has an organized solution.
That's good.
We're trying to solve an
An
organized problem
That's
in
why
an
you need-
unorganized way.
But that's why you
You
need
know,
brothers to come to the table that
Yeah.
are not already paid
and,
for.
And again, we're talking about organizing. You understand what I'm saying? And then we got to quit being so squeamish about being needful to
Right.
clothe ourselves, feed ourselves, protect ourselves, educate ourselves. Man, it's time for us to grow up.
Right.
So would you
We're-
agree with what I
we're-
just said? When he said an organized problem has to have an organized solution.
That's right.
And my position was this. That's why I'm not concerned with people who are already elected into office. I'm not concerned with people who are already pastoring these churches. They're already, as you made mention, most of them are already hook, line, and single, bought, purchase, already have an agenda. I'm saying there's a group of men. There's a group of men who we've yet to bring to the table, who we've yet to organize. When that group is organized, that group solves all the problems. That group works the community. That group is in touch with the neighborhood. That group is the sleeping giant that the guys talk about.
But
I
if
believe
you go,
that.
if you go to the neighborhood,
No, you gotta let her in because she feel the same.
Oh, you don't.
No,
This
no,
is
no,
spot.
no.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. If you go to the neighborhood,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm gonna let her in, you know, and sister is you know, she'll be there,
Yeah, she's
bleeding, and they see weakness.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna be able to do for them. And then
Right.
see, we got to quit looking to preachers,
Mhm.
elected officials.
I agree.
We got to start looking to self.
Right.
I agree.
And until we have the nerve to do that, and then see understanding, if we want to be free,
Mhm.
there's a cost to freedom.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, now see, we willing to kill each other, but are we willing to kill?
Am I willing to kill to be free?
Yeah. See.
Absolutely. I'm a killer
Now
to be
watch.
To stay
And
free.
let me say
Because I
this:
think I'm free.
if you
think you're
cannot
free?
handle the
I'm
truth,
free here.
get out of the
Not
room.
physically. I think I'm
If
free
you
mentally.
can't handle the truth, get out of the room.
I
If
think I'm
you
free
want to
mentally.
be free,
And I think I'm still
everybody
fighting to
that
be
calls
free
himself free
You see.
has had to kill somebody to let them know that they were not going to live beneath their humanity. When we grow up and we decide that, look, you shoot my son down in the middle of the street, there's a cost. You arrest my son for being out on the street, there's a cost.
Right.
When we start making them pay the cost,
Right.
then we will be the boss, and they will make the adjustment. If you can't handle the truth, get out of the room. We're not going to be dealing with these well-dressed liars that's running around here masquerading as the truth. Now we stripping the clothes off the truth. And sister, feel free to take
Yeah.
you
Water break.
I think I said something, and I think she.
Brother, please, you go always say something. Because that's just going to be the position. I mean, I'm just, again, you're amazing. Amazing. When you said there's a group of men, did you say that has yet to come to the table, or we haven't invited them to the table?
Yeah, that have yet to rise to the table as
Have
seen
yet.
as leaders.
And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Okay.
Y'all keep trying to classify this adult male thing as a man. Men don't need an invite to the table when the problem is coming from that table. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
My father was a man.
Okay.
And if I was having a problem at this table, he don't need an invitation to come through that door.
Right. I get that part.
He don't need an appointment with you. Me having a problem at this table is his appointment with you.
Right.
That's what a man do.
I get that.
The moment a woman recognizes there's a problem involving my child, oh, you don't need to get in touch with me. We don't need to make an appointment. I guarantee we got a standing appointment because you're going to see me.
Okay.
You have to understand, unless you're going to put qualifiers on all these titles you try to claim, nobody gets to stand in front of me talking about they a leader, a woman, a man, a warrior, a soldier, none of that unless you're willing to be tried, tested, and true. And I'm going to always say, your manhood is in question if there is a problem with your family and you are anywhere other than in attendance to tend to that problem. Oh, adult maleness it is. Take your stamp and keep it moving. But you're not going to say there's a group of men who have yet to come to the table to be considered in this leadership talk. If anybody else is organizing as a problem against your children, then your manhood, your womanhood comes into question. And until we take that position, you got to already know the proof is in the truth.
So you
The brother
saying they're
just
not
said,
men?
the brothers, no, they're not men.
Okay.
Men, the word man has a qualifier. But the brother said the truth. Black lives don't matter until black lives have a cost. The lives of my children have a cost. I've been very public and open about that. The lives of his children have a cost. He's been very public and open about that. And I'm going to tell you this. Our shared collective open enemy knows who to believe. And they know who is just bluffing. They know it ain't no cost to killing your son. They know it's damn well cost to killing mine. They know it ain't no cost because they know you will show up at a prayer vigil. I don't show up for prayer vigils. I don't own no candles for that. I'm telling you, I don't show. I'm telling you what, your enemy will wage good money that you will. Your enemy will wage good money. He'll toss the coin. I guarantee you they're not going to toss a coin with me.
They ain't gonna toss a coin with me.
Right on. I'm going to take you for your word, but I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to say you lying. No, brother, when you tell, no, hold on, brother. Now we're going to talk about it. Because you done already told me.
No, I'm just saying, you check my record. We talking about family. We talking about family. We talking about, you said.
He has a history behind here.
You saying check about my family.
Now what I mean, now
I
hold
don't
on.
need no invitation when it comes to my family.
But now you got to see your family as your people. The same way you heard me tell you earlier. My children ain't the only ones who benefit from it.
I agree.
You got to see your family, because you the one stood out there and said, you deal with these people. You got to see all this as your family. So you have to take that position.
Okay.
And I'm not telling you that young man sitting over there. And I'm not saying.
I get what you're saying.
I'm saying you got to be prepared to say there's got to be a price to pay.
Absolutely.
Now, if I'm going to take an oath or commitment of loyalty to you, then I have to take the position that this is where we stand.
Okay. Now, here's what I mean. Maybe my wording when I say be brought to the table, I'm not saying that these brothers are waiting on anybody. I'm saying in the context of conversation and leadership, we always talk about pastors. We always talk about elected officials. We never talk about those brothers. Those brothers, like I know some brothers right now who are cleaning 38th Street, Capitol. They're cleaning Capitol because the young baby couldn't ride their bikes because you can't see the pathway where the cars are coming. So these brothers decided to clean up their community. They didn't wait. They didn't ask for any government money. They didn't ask for any assistance. They started cleaning their community. They have initiatives where they're cleaning their neighborhoods. They're trying to get with groups that are already organized. But I'm saying when we start talking about leadership, we usually start talking about pastors initially. These pastors are horrible, and they are. There are some who are doing absolutely nothing. And then we start talking about elected officials. These elected officials, the guy brought Mike.
Is horrible.
Yeah, the guy brought Mike Pence through the neighborhood.
Who?
The pastor, Charles Harrison. Yeah, he brought Mike Pence through the neighborhood. Well, there's a group of men in that neighborhood who were sitting back going, even this guy who brings you through doesn't even know why these people are not dead. He wants to take credit for there have been no homicides in this neighborhood. But there are some guys who boots are on the street know why they stopped killing them babies.
But then he the same
because
one
somebody else said, don't kill no more babies.
But then he the same one to call for the stop and frisk?
Yes, he is. That's why I'm not disagreeing with Sis and saying this is horrible, this is bold.
So this is the person that they put out in front of us.
That they put in front of us, but we got to stop accepting them as leaders and say,
which was the total point. The
Right,
total point.
right,
Those
that's what I'm
aren't the
saying.
leaders.
They're not
The
the
leaders
leaders.
live in the streets.
And,
Those aren't the
and
leaders.
so
That was the
and
initial point.
Right, and because we keep shining lights on them.
No, we don't shine them.
They
shine them.
Right, let me
They
be
shine
clear.
them. We ain't shine
we
them.
not here.
We ain't chose them. They chose them.
Because the established white media and the established white leadership keep saying, here are your leaders.
Right.
Here are your leaders. Then we keep having to have a conversation about them.
Right.
I'm saying that we have to, even in the butt naked truth, not even address them anymore because they're not worthy of the conversation. We need to start talking about the cats that's on the east side.
I agree.
Over there trying to clean up
agree.
their neighborhood. Let's talk about the cats
I
on the
agree.
west side that's trying to find groups of men to partner with to say, man, listen, I'm doing what I'm doing on the east side. You're doing what you're doing on the west side. Let's work together and do it through the whole city
I
because
like
we need
what
a
you're saying,
collective
but
answer.
let me
I would
enhance
agree
it.
with
Let me enhance it just a little bit, based on this daggone election that we just went through.
Mhm.
If you listen to the media,
Right.
Hillary Clinton was going to win hands down.
Oh man, she had the big
Yeah,
room. She had the whole big room set up.
she was going to win hands down. But when the ball got through bouncing,
Mhm.
Trump
Mhm.
won like Miss Gore won.
But here's what's
No,
crazy.
no, watch. I'm
go ahead,
not
go ahead.
through with
Go
that.
ahead, go ahead.
You know, what I'm saying is now, how can we have any kind of faith in what they saying? If I was running a news organization and they got it as wrong as they got it, I'd fire everybody.
But here,
Why didn't they?
they got it wrong.
Why
they
didn't
didn't get it.
but-
Let me.
but
I was
why-
going to change the
why-
word.
why-
They
why
didn't get
didn't
it
they?
wrong. They got it right. They
Yeah.
set us up for the
Yeah.
thing.
They was waging a psychological war, and they thought that we was going to go along with the war that they was waging, and the people didn't go along with it, and so now they sitting up in there looking like Waffle Head Fred, and now the whole situation is the clothes have been stripped off of that well-dressed lie. So now this is the reason why we're creating our own media.
But see, that's the
This
problem.
is the truth.
That's the problem, John.
The whole
you said,
truth,
You said this
the
is the
naked
reason.
truth.
That's a reactionary statement.
Well,
Watch this.
that's
there,
true.
there are no, and this is what I told my group of people that I get to talk to. I don't see or have not seen any Jews come out and be mad about this election.
No.
I haven't
That's
seen
a good
any
point.
Asians come out and be mad about this
No.
election. I haven't seen a majority of Latinos come out and be mad about this
That's
election.
right.
I've yet to see any Vietnamese come out and be mad about this election.
What's your point?
Because as black people, we're the only ones still buying it hook, line, and sinker. We're still buying it. We're still buying
Time
it.
for it to stop.
They have a collective. You said we're part of a collective. You're a family, part of a collective, part of a community.
Right.
But we're so busy, as you said earlier, trying to get accepted that we actually thought we were the majority in this country. That's all Trump proved. It just proved that you Negroes, because you said we can say Negroes, are not the majority in this country. So what did he do? He reached down to the group that felt like African Americans or felt like Negroes. He reached to a group that felt like they had been marginalized, pushed aside, disrespected, and left out. He reached down into their soul and said, listen, poor white man, listen, you matter. You're strong. You're a winner, and I'm with you, and I'm gonna make you great again. The problem with your country is that these Negroes, these gays, and these women, they run in your country. And them boys got out and said, you know what, we want our country back. He tapped into the majority and said, come out and vote, and they came out and voted. They did. I can't be mad at that. But now we're reacting, trying to figure out, what we're gonna do that Trump is in office.
Let's not react.
We should have already had a
Let's not
plan.
react. Let's look at a vision.
Okay.
Because now they bold.
Well,
I need to address him.
What?
go ahead.
I need to address you. One, you have a very valid point about bringing to light those with boots on the ground doing the work. I'm in total agreement with that. I also think there's still a value in pointing out those who are treasonous among us.
Right.
Because I don't think you're saying that, but I'm saying this for the sake of those who are participating who aren't at the table.
Okay.
The reality is, if you don't point out the Charles
You got to
Harrisons,
point them right.
if you don't call them what
You
they
got to
are,
point them right.
then more of our people will become gullible to their
You got to point
shenanigans
them
and
out, yeah.
become the frog in the snake's mouth. That we have to do.
Okay.
That's one thing. The other thing is, you have some people who, like myself, like I collect, I openly tell you, I don't vote. I don't vote because regardless of what y'all say and do, I already know where I stand on the matter.
Right.
I already know where our collective, where our family stands on the matter. Now, it isn't to say that you don't have the right to participate in your own political shenanigans how you see fit. But you must understand, this is not a new dog and pony show.
Absolutely.
And if you're gonna participate in the dog and pony show,
Right.
you gotta
You
expect
gotta-
the circus.
right.
Now, when the circus comes to
You
town,
can't be mad.
No.
well, you can't expect that what they say and do is going to be in your favor, but you have to decide what's in your favor. The
Yeah,
people, the
yeah.
communities you said don't come out reactionary, have already established what's gonna happen with their community,
Right.
regardless of what you say.
Right.
But there's something that's got to be
I
said
agree.
here now.
I
There's
agree.
got to be said. The aftermath of this election is these white folks done got bold now.
Very much so.
They done got bold.
They've
I
been
mean,
bold.
Think about, I was just
No,
gonna
no,
say, listen,
yeah,
in my state,
yeah,
they just hung a
yeah.
man. While Obama was in office,
Yeah.
they hung him, and guess what they did? Nothing.
Yeah.
They hung Sanders Bland.
Well, if they
They been
publicly hung Mike Brown, I mean,
Again, if I can finish this point, because I'm going somewhere.
my bad, yo.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere.
Yes, sir.
See, yeah, this is the reason why I was happy that Hillary didn't win, because she would have been able to make folks think, or they would have been able to deceive themselves. Oh, it's them got better. We got Hillary in. Now with Trump, and you're right. They've always been bold, but now they really bold.
But how bold is that for the police, for the sheriff's son to
No.
be selling dope?
Yeah,
That's your no bold.
how
He been
bold?
selling.
Right. That's
How he said he was selling for 11 years. How bold is it for us to understand that they're getting ready to bring us back to slavery as close as they can, and we are not arming ourselves to stop it?
Okay, now.
Oh, my goodness.
I was already prefacing. I was already prefacing.
Silence is the topic.
Listen,
I'm
wait. Let me say why I paused.
saying
Let me say why I paused.
No.
I have a respect for this sister, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on my statement. I want to make sure that we're aware. You know what I mean? I don't want to just be like, I really respect this part. Okay, so I believe that an organization, the same way if you look at America, an organization has a certain function for each person within the organization, a certain function with each person. If you look at the militia movement, right, to protect the country, they say everybody grab their guns. That's what the Second Amendment